Hi everybody, this is for first grade. It's a measurement lesson. And then I'm going to do a review for first grade for fractions, but a new introduction. Well, it is a review introduction for kindergarten too. So this is what you're going to need, first graders. I'm going to switch the camera to facing forward. I'm here in my kitchen. All right, you're going to need a ruler or a yardstick. Though we're not going to talk about the yardstick today. A pencil, your spiral. I happen to have one of John Barber's shoes, Mr. Barber's shoes, because I'm going to explain something to you about it. And we are about to do, first graders, the lesson on, right here. Using a ruler, identify 1 foot, 1 inch, 6 inches. Draw lines on a piece of paper for those lengths. All right. So here's our work. Let me see if I can switch it again. Yep. So I'm going to put my camera here. Have a seat. Hopefully I can show you these things. All right. So where did measurement come from? Well, the ancient Egyptians, building all those pyramids, of course, had to have a measurement system, but their measurement system was based on their body. Like one of their fingers was considered a digit. 4 of their fingers together across was considered a palm. We call this the palm of our hand. So when they measured, they used this distance right here as a measurement. If I could, they still use it for horses. How many palms high is the horse? Then the ancient Egyptians used the width or the measurement from their thumb tip to their fingertip. So that far as a span, that was called a span. Well, then there was this measurement system called the cubit. And that was the measurement from your elbow to the tip of your finger. It's kind of hard for me to see what I'm doing in the video. Anyway, from the elbow to the tip of the finger. Let me move this back a little bit. And that is called a cubit. And if you've read any of the Old Testament much in the Bible, the measurements in the Bible are in cubits. But the problem was some people are taller than other people. Some people are short, some people are tall. Your cubit measurement from the tip of your elbow to the tip of your finger is going to be smaller than my cubit measurement. So, they had to come up with a system that was customary to everyone, that was Eliana walking out, that everyone would agree on the same length. Eventually, they still use those measurements, but eventually the Greeks and the Romans, when they were building their big cultures, and you'll learn about this in history, they came up with another measurement called the foot. And it was literally based on the length of a man's foot. So eventually, this measurement system got a little bit organized and it made its way to England. And then as we're reading about John Smith and we're about to start reading about the Pilgrims and they came over on the Mayflower, they brought what's called the customary system with them. So the foot was then finally agreed upon to be 12 inches. So let's take a look. Now, not all men's feet are 12 inches long, but this shoe of Mr. Barber, and this might have been Josh Barber's shoe, I think he gave it to Mr. Barber, to John, is actually 12 inches long because he wears a size 12. So the foot is literally a foot. All right, let's take a look at our ruler. Pick up your ruler. Now, I'm going to maybe lay this down because I bet that looks backwards to you. I'm not sure if it reads properly or not, but It might. I think it does. So when you look at a ruler, it has, let's count the inches. And I haven't told you that this is an inch, but that's what it is. It's an inch. So I'm gonna, let's see, adjust the video a little bit. Maybe I'll just put it down low. That works a little better. Okay, so let's count the inches. There, it starts at 0 right there. And the first one says 1. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if you have a ruler at home, it's going to be the same length as my ruler. And it'll be the same length as, so Mabel's ruler will be the same length as Ezra's ruler, the same length as Jess's ruler, and the same length as David's ruler. Because all of these units of measurement have been organized. That means they've been made the same so that when a ruler is produced and given to you, the unit of measure of an inch and 12 inches has been agreed upon around the world, that it's going to be this standard. But a long time ago, somebody's palm was different than somebody else's palm because it was smaller. And somebody's span from their thumb to their pinky was a different size. If Mabel put her hand up, or if you could put your hand up, any of you, to the screen right now, my hand might be bigger than your hand, even on the screen. But in person, my hand would be bigger. You could test your mom. She's going to have a bigger palm. And your dad is probably going to have a bigger palm than your mom. So, fortunately, mostly the merchants of the world, the people that traded goods or that sold things and bought things, they agreed upon a system where everything was the same measurement. Now, we're measuring what here? What are we measuring with a ruler? What can we measure with a ruler? How heavy something is? No. How much space it takes up in a cup? No, we can't measure that with a ruler. Can we measure its temperature? Can we measure somebody's temperature with a ruler? Can I stick it in my mouth and take my temperature? No. I'm not measuring temperature. I'm not measuring volume. And I'm not measuring weight. How much my coffee in my coffee cup weighs. Nope. I'm measuring length. So if I wanted to measure this wall behind me, could I use a ruler? Yes. It would probably be better to use a yardstick, which is 3 rulers put together. But we're not going to talk about this today. We'll talk about it later. But if you have a yardstick and that's all you have, there, I'll hold it back. That would work for you to use. I'm putting it down and we're going to take our ruler. All right. So as we've already mentioned, you can see that the ruler has different markings on it. It starts with 0 on the left side. So if I'm looking down at it and you're looking down at your ruler, it's going to have the 0 on the left side. But I'm holding it up for you to see. And it goes all the way to 12. And those are the considered inches. And that's what we're going to talk about. So from the 0, let me see if I can look at this. From the 0 to the 1 is 1 inch. From the 1 to the 2 is 2 inches. From the 2 to the 3 is 3 inches. From the 3 to the 4, that would be 4 inches. Actually, it's from the 0 to the 4 is 4 inches. So from the 0 to the 1, that's 1 inch. We add another inch. That's 2. That from the 0 to the 2 is 2 inches. We add another inch. So from the 0 to the 3 is 3 inches. From the 0 to the 4 is 4 inches. Can you find the 6 inches on there? Yep, you've got it. 6 inches right here. From the 0 to the 6 is 6 inches. Okay? Then can you find the 12 inches? That's right. From the 0 to the 12 is 12 inches. All right, we are going to I'm going to draw these in my spiral. And you have your spiral at home. Actually, I'm not going to have to draw it. I'm going to trace it. This is a spiral I bought for Eliana. But I think I'm going to have to turn it like this with the spiral part at the top, because we're going to run out of room. So let me take my camera and see if I can switch it so that you can see what I'm doing. This is my tricky part. When I'm doing something, it's hard to do it. It's hard to film it holding my phone. Okay, so your assignment says, using a ruler, identify 1 foot, 1 inch, and 6 inches. Draw lines on a piece of paper for those lengths. All right, so let's see. So we've already talked about that from 0 to 12 is considered 1 foot. And that's because it was originally named for the length of the foot of a man. And different people had different foot lengths. My foot isn't this long. But eventually it was agreed upon that it would be 12 inches, and it was based on how many digits. It was originally 16 digits, so 16 fingers was agreed to be a foot. So, can you take your ruler and angle it on your paper to trace the ruler for 1 foot? I think that's what we're going to have to do. I hate to put the video on pause. Maybe I'll turn it around and draw these. Okay, you can see me drawing. I'm going to trace it right here. Maybe I'll turn it this way so you can see better. And I'm doing it at an angle so it'll fit on my paper. I'm starting at the 0, and I'm holding the ruler steady so that I can trace all along the side, and I'm stopping at the 12. Okay, so I've just drawn the whole length of this ruler from the 0 to the 12. And I'm going to mark that. I'm going to mark 0, and I'm going to mark 12 right down here, and then I'll show it to you. Can you see it? 0 and 12. Okay, and I'm going to write on that line 1 foot. 1 foot. You know, it'd be fun if you went and got your dad's shoe, one of your dad's shoes, and see if his shoe, or you could have him lay his foot down by a ruler and see how long his foot is, if it's actually 12 inches long. All right, I've measured 1 foot. Now, I'm going to do 1 inch. So I'm going to go from the 0 to the 1 inch. And I think I'm going to do it on my paper, just along the lines. So I'm going to do this. Let's see. You can be working on yours while you're watching me. Maybe I can lean it down a little bit. Okay. I'm marking it where the 0 is. I'm putting a line kind of vertical and a line where the 1 is. And then I'm going to trace it right between those 2 lines. And I'm going to make it nice and dark. I'm going to make it down. Okay. Can you see mine? I just measured or drew 1 inch. So I've got 0 and then 1, and I'm going to write right beneath it 1 inch. I-N-C-H. Take a look. 1 inch. And as you can see from this, it says 1 foot. F-O-O-T. So I'm going to hold that there for a minute so you can copy it if you need to, or just have a look. All right. Now that I've measured 1 inch and I've measured 12 inches or 1 foot, what's the other measurement I need to do? 6 inches. 6 inches or half a foot. So I'm going to start the same and see if I can, ooh, that's going to go far. Take a look. It's going to go from the red line and it's going to cross the foot line. Do I want to do it like that? Or do I want to do it diagonally? You could do it however you'd like. I could even do it down here at the bottom. I think maybe I'll do it that way. So I'm going to start down below the angled line. I'm going to put a vertical line. See, I'm doing it vertically against the ruler, perpendicular. And then I'm going to mark where my 6 is. And I'm going to draw the line in between. If you need your mom or your dad or an older brother or sister to help you, you could get them too. So see where I drew the line here at the 0 and the line here at the 6 inches. I'm going to mark 0 and I'm going to mark 6 and then I'm going to write 6 inches. Okay. 0, 6, and I'm going to put 6 inches, INCHES, and that equals, ooh, and we're about to do some fractions. What does 6 inches equal? Let's take a look. That's not the whole foot. That's half the foot. If we could take this ruler and bend it in half or cut it in half, it would be half. The halfway point is the 6 inches. So 6 inches equals 1/2 a foot. Okay, I'm gonna write that. 6 inches equals 1/2 foot. I'm gonna hold this up for you to see. I hope that's not backwards. Let's take a look. I'm gonna flipped my screen here. All right. Hopefully that looks clear to you. So here's my 1 foot measurement with my ruler. And I wrote 1 foot. Here's my 1 inch measurement with my ruler from 0 to 1. You can see how I measured it right there. And I marked it.